a warm welcome from my side as well. We are entering the third day. We are already in the third day of the App Growth Week, and it has been amazing so far. And not only that, because today is a really special episode, because I have my good friend and my ASO partner in crime from the super early days when ASO started to become a topic. Steve, it's really an honor that you are here with me today.
Thomas, it feels like old times. Nothing's changed, right? We still
Exactly.
look good.
Maybe the both of us got a little bit older,
A
I'm
little
having
bit.
more pains here and there, but aside of that. Awesome. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about, sorry, that was the wrong direction. Today we are going to talk about stop wasting budgets and how to best align ASO and Apple Ads. But before we do that, I would say let's kick it off with a pour. Oksana, can I ask you for launching our first pour? Because before we jump into this topic, obviously we are super curious how tightly are your Apple Ads and ASO teams or strategies currently aligned? Not at all, some coordination, fully integrated workflow. Really curious to see. Maybe we have everybody fully integrated workflows already, and I think we can quit our session for today. But let's see. Let's see what the results from the poll will be. So I would say let's give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's check it out. Okay, luckily we can do our presentation. There is some coordination happening. I would say around about 25% say it's fully integrated, and round about, yeah, maybe 25% as well are saying not at all. So good news is, hopefully today after this session, you will get some really great inspiration and can, try to find out how to best align it, obviously. As already mentioned, next to me I have Steve Young, a CEO from AppMasters, and as mentioned, a part of the ASO scene since day number one. When we talk about ASO, Steve, what do you think? What is ASO in your opinion?
Oh, just easy. Thomas is like SEO for the app stores. That's what I say.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah, I think there are obviously a lot of similarities because on the one hand side, we want to increase the visibility and we want to increase the conversion so that people also check out the app. When talking about app ads, here I think the biggest benefit of them is that they are an high intent paid placement inside the App Store to promote your app. Or in other words, it's only the only option that you have to run ads directly within the App Store. And also here, the reason why I believe that this is one of the best channels and it should be part of every user acquisition strategy is simply speaking because people already have the App Store app installed on the phone. There are more than 600 million users using it as well. So this means there is a lot of traffic going there. And so hence, it is also very important that you show up there. But how we're going to do this, we're going to check this out in more detail throughout the session today. But also here, very importantly, at least from my point of view, when ASO and Apple Ads is not aligned, that typically means you're burning budgets. What's your take on that, Steve?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I've learned so much from Apple ads that inform our ASO strategy. And Thomas, one of the keywords, I love Apple ads, and you said must be. I think it's the first because we
Yeah.
talk to a lot of people where you can burn a lot of budget through meta ads, but I think Apple ads and ASO are probably the first marketing stack things that I would start taking up. And they should be talking to each other because they're going to sort of inform each other. And you can see real data on how a keyword performs when you're running Apple ads.
100%, I agree. Yeah, because at the end of the day, both of them are around keywords, and also, if you don't align them, that by nature is already meaning there is some friction already happening. You have to coordinate more, and so on and so forth, which more means typically more money. So hence, also here, I think one important message is if the ad message as well as the store page message is not aligned, once again, then it's like you're advertising two different companies. Yeah, at the end of the day, you want to achieve the same goal, but you're running into two different directions. Yeah, so that will not, work out. So that means a lot of wasted clicks, a lot of missed targeting, as well as a disconnect, which is, and that is the good news, actually very easy to fix. So where do we see the intersection when talking about Apple ads and when talking about app store optimization? At the end of the day, I think, also here, I think at least, like to me, maybe it's also a little bit, like being in this already since such a long time. So hence, also Steve looking into the other direction, I think it will be the same, yeah. But it's not rocket science that we're talking about, yeah, because we're talking about keywords, we're talking about creatives, and we're talking about what users are saying when they're talking about your apps. Or what do you think?
Luckily, it's not rocket science because I don't think you and I would be around if it was rocket science. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, matching the keywords that you're bidding on with the and having those keywords in your screenshots are very critical. And Thomas, I'll give you one example. We have one client where we're spending about $60,000 a month on just Apple search ads and being ROI positive. But we were bidding exact match on a certain keyword. And it wasn't until we moved that keyword into its own campaign, had a CPP that matched that keyword, that it finally started spending. And so it's very crucial to make sure you're not just using your default. If you're, well, here, let me phrase it this way because I don't want to add more work and more money. But if you believe a keyword is relevant and you're not getting the impressions that you think you deserve, then I would create a CPP for it.
That totally makes sense. Yeah, and I think that is already like going very much into the direction. So when talking about CPPs, when talking about keywords, when talking about creatives even as well, yeah, for me, like kind of how I like to describe it is in the background, there is a user. This user has a problem and is looking for a solution for the problem. So in other words, we're forming in some sort of way a user journey. This user journey now specifically talking about app ads and app store optimization means, okay, I have more or less understanding of the problem that I want to have solved. So hence I'm going to the App Store and I'm searching for relevant keywords. And that is kind of triggering already kind of a user journey in this regard. And the better aligned this user journey is, and the better of an holistic approach you're running for exactly that, the better it will be. So hence, in this regard, when talking about that, when you are aligning App Store optimization as well as your paid user acquisition activities, and App Ads is obviously a paid user acquisition activity, then you are profiting from some synergies out of this. First of all, I would say you will be witnessing improved App Store visibility. Also here, very easily explained, because you're getting more downloads, you are becoming more visible within the App Store. Why is that the case? Try to put yourself into the shoes of the algorithm, of the search algorithm. And if you think about it, how would I start ranking apps within the app stores on certain keywords? Obviously, first of all, there needs to be the relevancy. But after that, like the very logical thing is the more download an app gets, the more important it should be within the app store. It's, like very similar also like the Google algorithm works. The more backlinks a site gets, like the more relevant they are, the better the rankings will be. It's, like it's super logical at the end of the day. Yeah? You will obviously also increase the number of organic downloads. So in other words, you will be experiencing incrementality. So this means you're getting more paid downloads. That gives you more organic downloads. And that can also have obviously over or optimized conversion rates because you're also along the way learning how your target audience, how your users are thinking, what they're looking for, and how to best attract them, which will also at the end of the day lower your user acquisition costs, or in other words, your efficient CPI. So that means if you're adding up all the costs that you're spending on the paid user acquisition side and organic, you're kind of having a total amount of in-stores, you divide this by costs. And once again, the more you're running this game, the more you're also building up this game, the lower these costs will become. And that is, like the beauty of that. So hence, Apple Ads makes ASO strategies also more data-driven because once again, we're talking about keywords and that is kind of really going into both directions and it can enable both ways. Anything to add here, Steve, when looking at the slide?
Thomas, I mean, there's one more that I would add, but I'm going to tease it because it's in one of my slides. Okay. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Then let's wait until your slide. um, yeah, yeah. Okay, you already want to jump to your slide, Steve? Not
This is not mine,
yeah,
but
yeah, I know. Somebody is taking over our slides here. I have the
oh, okay.
feeling. Let me go back. Let me go back.
Okay.
Let's first, before we go into your case study, let's
Yes.
first have a look at this. Yeah, because when talking about app store optimization and when talking about app ads, I think like it's very important to differentiate. Are we talking about a new app? or are we talking about an already established app? Steve, with which one do you want to go? With the new or with the established one?
I mean, I like the new ones because established apps, Thomas, I find it so easy to do. There's a lot. It's a lot easier to do ASO. So let's make it hard on ourselves. Let's go new.
Then, Steve, let me know. How would you approach app ads and app store optimization with new apps then?
So, this is funny enough. Like I have told you this personally one on one, but I use App Radar a lot when I'm looking at difficulty scores. And what I'm trying to find without giving away too many of my secrets is, I try to find low competition, low difficulty keywords, especially as a new app. If you're established and you have UA and you have unity between all of this stuff, ASO is a lot easier. You can go after the high traffic, high volume keywords, high difficult, because you have revenues, you have downloads, you have ratings. If you're a new app, you don't have any of those things. And so you're just trying to find early traction. And what we found the most success with is using that app radar difficulty score, finding keywords that are under 30 is the sweet spot. 40 is nice, but definitely 30, I feel confident that I can get to number one pretty quickly. And so I try to find, even if it's low search scores, I try to rank those into the top positions first and foremost, and then start moving. Once I've established some downloads, some revenue, some ratings, I start then moving up channel or to higher search score keywords.
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. And now taking this, like let's say one step further, like let's say a couple of months added on top. So you're growing on the ASO side. You're having like a, let's call it a more established app already within the App Store, and then like you can also start profiting from the ASO performance. One of the coolest features that I really like within App Radar is checking out or keyword rankings an app is ranking on, because that is really looking up all the keywords that are within the keyword database at App Radar, and which is one of the biggest on this planet when it comes to actually keywords, especially within the app stores. And then you can get really nice inspiration. And to be honest, for every app more or less that I checked out so far, there were some surprises that I didn't have on my radar, that I was not really thinking about it in the first place. But when I saw them, it kind of was very obvious. Okay, that really makes sense. And that can also be a really great, I would say, source of inspiration for building up, as you already mentioned, custom product pages, for example, to dedicate certain user journeys, or to map out certain user journeys exactly around some keyword spaces as well as obviously when you identify some keywords on the ASO side, which you are currently ranking okayish, but you kind of further want to push them, and maybe also using this as a chance to answer the question that we have here in the chat. Yeah, does ASA help to improve organic positions? I mean, I think, like there is a lot of, discussions around this question. From my point of view, I would say yes, it does. Simply speaking, because you will be once again getting more downloads. These more downloads will improve the ranking possibilities of your app. So, which means that you will be also start ranking better on certain keywords. And also here, once again, from a user perspective, if you are running app ads on a keyword which you're currently not really ranking on, however, your app is super, super relevant for it, and with the help of ASA, you are getting in front of users that are actually looking for this keyword, that are actually looking for an app like yours, and they're also downloading this app by clicking on your ad within the App Store. That is obviously also a nice trigger to the algorithm in the background. Hey, this app is super relevant for this keyword. And also here, I believe that over the time, you will be also seeing that your ranking starts to increase for that. And like once again, with over or more downloads, as mentioned, from my point of view, you will also start ranking better anyways within the App Store. When talking about kind of the user journey around, and when talking about custom product pages, maybe also here an explanation. I would say a custom product pages, from my point of view, is just like a landing page within the App Store dedicated to a certain user intent, yeah, or to dedicated to a certain user journey. So let's imagine you're having an app, a fitness app, which on the one hand side helps you to track calories and helps you to track your sports activities. So quite different use cases. However, both of them make sense. Yeah. So long story short, wouldn't it be nice if you would have one App Store page that is totally dedicated towards to tracking calories and one App Store page dedicated towards to tracking your sports activities? Exactly the good news with custom product pages, it is possible like that. And I also have here a case study, which we did with one of our clients. It's just like on a small scale. However, what you can already see here When looking at the brands, yeah, you will kind of identify that the app is most likely has something to do with printers, yeah. And you will see here that already, like different brands of printers, which you also, when you think about it, completely makes sense, yeah, because when I'm having my printer at home, then I know exactly the model of my printer, yeah. And so kind of a test that we were running here were exactly setting up different keyword campaigns on the one hand side, but also then dedicating it towards to different custom product pages at the end of the day as well. And here the long story short is really that this helped us to also like break out a little bit from scaling issues that we had along the way, because we were able to simply attract more users, more dedicated users with exactly solutions to the problems that they were looking for. Another case study in this regard with Restyle, which is an AI video generator app. Also here, kind of obviously, unfortunately, I would say there is many of the information is blurred out here. However, I think the most relevant information that you can take from here is on the one hand side, the tap-through rate, where we see an increase of more than 30%, 35% to be precise, as well as the download rate, which also sees an improvement. Here, the long story short in the background is that with the help of the Optimize product from Splitmetrics, which enables you to set up A/B tests outside of the App Store, so it's kind of emulating the App Store, and you can push traffic there, and you can analyze the performance of that. Here, the long story short is within a very crowded AI, as we all know, AI apps, AI is everywhere. AI apps are also everywhere. AI video generation, AI art generation is everywhere. However, there are different subcategories around that. Yeah, and in this case, the long story short is with the help of running an A/B test, we identified actually a very nice niche for that, which I'm unfortunately not going to tell you guys here. However, it really helped us to identify a winning let's theme within the AI art generation, which we then also used to really dedicate a specific campaign around it. This specific campaign included, once again, the certain keywords that were relevant for this. It included the screenshots, which were then also super aligned with exactly the search intent. And long story short, we saw at the end 62% increase in search impressions, and in stores were even up by 40%. So long story short, that really makes sense to think this further, think this through, and really go this one level deeper. Yeah? So maybe from this point of view, just just one of the things to summarize here. So first of all, with the help of aligning ASO and ASA, you can gather real signals that inform each other's. Because at the end of the day, it's around keywords. Yeah. So use the insights that you win on the one side and implement it on the other side. Build one unified roadmap. This is exactly for those guys that are right at the moment not really aligned when running Apple Ads and also looking at App Store optimization. Why? Because most likely you guys are not aligned on a roadmap. You're most likely not aligned on a strategy. However, I really highly recommend you, especially nowadays, break down those silos and talk with each other. Because at the end of the day, once again, both of you are interested to become more visible in search. So hence, it really makes sense that you talk with each other. Yeah. Steve, do you want to go with the other options and
Yeah.
tips that we have here?
Like I said, produce custom product pages, especially the Year Canon example. We saw it with other clients, especially if your app can target multiple keywords. Because Thomas, like using, I'm sure you guys use the discovery campaign to find that for the Restyle AI app, but doing that will get you some keywords. And we actually even bid on some non-English keywords in the US. It was Arabic, and it was working. Like it was through a
Mm,
discovery campaign, and I put it into an exact match and it was working really well. Obviously, you want to measure the tap through rate and the conversion rate and then the retention, all that stuff. I try to aim for anywhere 30, 40%, generally speaking, from a conversion rate perspective. Those tend to be a good keyword. And then obviously use all that into your ASO strategy, whether it's through screenshot design or anything else, or the keywords that you find that are worth going after. Definitely use some of that learnings from ASA, because ASO is a black box. Like you don't know which keywords you're actually getting conversions on or high conversions on, but with ASA you do. And so that will help you leverage that with ASO.
100%. Yeah. Maybe also talking a little bit about the tooling, which can help you to also really find the synergies, or like to build the synergies or to build the bridges between your ASO and your Apple Ads strategy. is on the one hand side, like when it comes to keywords and market insights, as we already mentioned, yeah, obviously I'm personally a little bit biased, but luckily also Steve kind of recommended AppRadar in this regards. So hence, like that can really help you a lot because it is a dedicated app store optimization tool, which gives you insights which you don't get directly on any, of the official Apple platforms. So for example, not within App Store Connect and also not within the Apple Ads Manager. However, also here, obviously those tools can also be great sources, especially the Apple Ads keywords data when you're looking at your campaign performance, especially also like Steve mentioned, when you're going into discovery campaigns. The real benefit is that you can see the keywords which are actually driving the results. I mean, there's a little bit of a threshold that is maybe this more side note to here, that you need to get a certain amount of in-stores through a keyword to actually see the keyword. However, that is really gold information that can once again help align your complete strategy around optimizing your search performance. Steve, do you want to go with creative testing and optimization?
Yeah, I mean, look, we use Figma a lot in terms of just designing the creatives, the custom product pages. We've already talked about that. I'll let you talk about the SIP metrics optimize part,
Yeah,
but
exactly. So
yeah.
for Split Metrics Optimize here, like once again, it's an A/B testing platform for testing your App Store creatives outside the App Store. Yeah. So in other words, it's like an emulation of the App Store, and the really great benefit is. In comparison with native A/B testing, here you have the benefit that you can see really all the metrics, what is happening on your App Store page. So you can check out how many screenshots do users typically check out. Do they watch the preview video? Yes, no. Do they read through the description? Yes, no. Where do they click around on the page even? Are they looking at the reviews and so on and so forth? So this gives you really amazing insights, which once again you cannot find anywhere else. And this can also help you finding a lot of nuggets and a lot of wins when it comes to optimizing your ASO strategy in this case. Yeah. For campaign management and automation, here on the one hand side, really the leading tool from my point of view is Split Metrics Acquire. So that is the number one platform when it comes to managing Apple ads. With a lot of AI, we just recently released Iris, our first AI agent, and we're also gonna soon talk about it, and we already see it also in the AI assistants. But aside of that, you can also obviously use AI for that. Steve, the last time we talked about, ChatGPT was a little bit for you still on the, let's say, on the leading edge.
No good.
Not
I wish I
good.
had my sound
Okay.
effects, but it was no good. I
Yeah,
think I'm interested to see Iris because obviously you have the data. ChatGPT doesn't, but I asked
exactly.
ChatGPT for some keywords and I put them into App Radar and no volume.
Exactly. That exactly it is, like the good and the bad, so to say, in both. Yeah, because I completely agree. And let's also jump very quickly into let's chat about Iris. Yeah, because also here, like, how can AI also help you around this process of aligning your app store optimization strategy with your app ad strategy? Once again, it has crazy positive impact on many different, disciplines that you have around it. Might it be from keyword research over user insights over to creative ideation. And let me show you a small demo of this. So first of all, Iris, as mentioned, is the first AI agent dedicated towards the app store optimization and app ads. It is fed by the data, by our data that we have at Split Metrics from gathering from the app stores from more than a decade of years. Yeah. So once again, if you imagine that this is one of the most, specialized and most relevant data sources around information that is relevant for the App Store and also information around what is happening within the App Store. And with the help of Iris, you get access to exactly this information. And as you can see here, that is our first version. Yeah, the first version of Iris is integrated into Slack. Also here, just like mentioning why, because we believe that the future is humans and AI working together as a team. However, it will be very hard to distinguish a little bit. Is this now AI or is this a real colleague? That is a little bit our idea of the vision. So hence, we also decided that Iris should be part of Slack because that is typically where also you communicate with your team members. And also from using it personally, I can really say it feels like actually chatting with a team member. With the only side note that this team member is, first of all, 24/7 reachable. It is feeded with, once again, information that you cannot find anywhere else around the app stores, around what is happening within the app stores, and it can really provide you with crazy insights as well as strategic recommendations on how to improve your ASO as well as your ASA strategy. So hence, I would really highly encourage you, give it a try. Maybe somebody from the team, Oksana, Ariana, if you could post the link to the landing page for Iris here in the chat, that would be very nice so that people can sign up for a demo for it because, you know, once you use it, you will be blown away and it's really, really amazing. Yeah. Yeah, with that being said, Steve, now it's time for your case study.
Finally, Thomas. Jeez, man. I'm just messing. Hey, Militia, I think I said that right, but any recommendations for organic keywords based custom product pages, CPPs? I would say definitely leverage it. With Apple allows you to do organic custom product pages, but those keywords have to be in your keyword field. Anecdotally, I've been asking around a different couple of founders, and we've been repeating certain keywords that are obviously the main keywords are obviously going to be in your title and subtitle. And so we can't leverage CPPs for those keywords. We've been repeating them and we've seen decent success with that. But definitely for the keyword field, I've been leveraging it and it has been working quite a bit. Now, this was a teaser that I talked to you guys about when we talked about just leveraging ASO, NUA, and the benefits of this. So this is one case study we had for a client. And just like Thomas, it's in the AI space, and we found a nice particular niche for this AI app. And we were able to, within this first year of launch, get it into 43,000 overall. Now, that's
Very nice.
pretty decent money because it's all organic and only about 17% of all apps make at least $1,000 a month. So I consider it a win. Okay. It's not a lot of money, but it's decent money, especially when it's just organic. Now, let me show you this real quick. And for those who don't believe me, this is what I like to do. Hey, look, just from App Store search, you can see the bulk of the revenues coming just from sales from source type, App Store search. And then when we started Meta, so we were able to get it to 7,000 in May of 2024. And what happened in September was we started running Meta ads. And so we were starting to, and I'll show you guys can see September and August starting to clip up, but it started to really go in terms of sales because we started running Meta ads. And the slide's not here right now, but if we look at the sales by source type, you can actually see that once Meta started, sales from search went up as well.
Mm.
And so, what happens when you're running Meta campaigns is if you think about Calm and meditation, Calm, Headspace have more search volume than meditation. Definitely true in all the dating apps. Nobody's searching for dating. Everybody's searching for the brand Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all the like. And so that's the benefit of that's the way I like to do it. Run ASO, run ASA, and then when you've built a little bit of traction, then run Meta. Because the way I feel is if you're breaking even from Meta, there's gonna be this like domino effect from ASO, and it's going to just help you overall. And so that's the benefit of sort of combining some of the UA efforts. And that's how Calm, Headspace, all these big brands have been able to leverage ASO. It's not just purely off of just ranking well for their generic terms, but it's obviously their brand terms have search volume. And that's when you've made it, when people are searching just straight for your particular brand.
I 100% agree on that. And as we already discussed, like also, I really like this example that you brought up that when brands start to get a higher search volume compared to the keyword that is best describing what this app is doing, I think like that is the moment when you can say, okay, we made it, guys.
Yeah.
Because I think that is a really, really nice, like milestone to achieve because that really means you're doing many, many things really great. And that will also obviously help you a lot, yeah, because that really means that your brand is carrying a lot of the things that you're doing, no matter if it's ASO, no matter if it's Apple Ads, and no matter if it's running ads on any other channel. All of that will combine your efforts. And yeah, with that being said, one team, one strategy, one AI growth engine. I hope that we have been able to convince some of you to talk with your colleagues, so to speak. So if you're working in the ASO team, talk with your colleagues from the Apple Ads team. If you're working in the Apple Ads team, talk with your colleagues from the ASO team. Because once again, you're like the more you are aligned, the better the results will be, and the lower the costs will be along the way as well. And last but not least, once again, thank you very much for showing up. And if you're curious to find out what Iris thinks about your app, once again, check out the link here that was shared within the chat or scan this QR code and yeah, let's take it from there.